Hey Tickler Pals, and welcome to part 5 of lesson 2 on design and processing, where we look at food processing for refugees. Hey kids, I'm Chef Remy, and I really enjoyed learning all about the foods that we can prepare to help the refugees and internally displaced people. Now let's look at the methods that we can use to prepare meals, as well as the whole process of making a meal that we had learned in the earlier lessons. Let's look at a method for preparing parts of a meal. Choose one item of food from your emergency meal, and remember that it should be nutritious, easy to find, easy to cook, and tasty. Before you prepare the food, write down the steps that you have to follow to make it. Write down the steps in the correct order from start to finish. Think carefully about what you need to do first and then what you need to do after that. To list your steps in this way can be called writing your steps in sequence. Write the steps one underneath the other in the table. But first, write down how and why you will need to do each step. How you will do a step is called an instruction, and why you will do a step is called the reason. Write down the instruction and the reason for each step next to the particular step. Look at the drawing below to see what Linda has done. You have to plan carefully and then set out your plan using the following guidelines. Say whether the food you will cook is for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and explain why you decided to cook for that meal. An example will be given for each guideline. An example for this is breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day and will give the refugees a lot of energy which they need. Next, you must say which item of food you chose and explain why. Does it mainly consist of carbohydrates or proteins? In this example, we have chosen samp, and it is high in carbohydrates for lots of energy. Next, estimate how much of each ingredient you will need to make your item of food for one adult. In example, we have chosen samp, and we want 300 grams of it. Next, write down how you're going to prepare your item of food and write down each step in the process. The example is we're going to measure, and we're going to start by measuring 300 grams of samp, and we measure out 1 liter of water. Next, how are you going to cook the food? For this activity, you have to write down the process that you will follow at home and not what you would do at a refugee camp. The example is you have to choose a pot first. Select a pot that will be suitable for cooking the food, and then you have to mix the ingredients, place the samp, water, and salt in the pot. Next, you must decide how long you think the preparation and cooking will take. Divide the steps and add up all the steps and put the total time in the end. For the example, measuring the ingredients takes 5 minutes, mixing the ingredients takes 2 minutes, cooking the ingredients takes 30 minutes, which gives you a total time of 37 minutes. Next, ask an adult at home to help you. Write down in your plan who this person will be. When you have completed your plan, take it to school and discuss with your plan and with another learner. This is an important part of the planning before you cook the meal. If either of you missed an important step, you will have to rewrite your plan. Remember, the steps in your plan are your guide to cooking the food.